What's going on, you guys? My name's Kayden Nicholas Carter. I was originally born Bradley Joseph Correa. I was born in New Bedford, Massachusetts. My parents were Michelle and David Correa. Growing up in Massachusetts, when you're growing up, and especially in a place like Massachusetts, we're right outside of Boston. When you're growing up in a place like that, in what I guess you could call a rough neighborhood, shit that's going on, like all the violence and all that stuff and all the conditions that you're going through, you kind of consider that normal because it's all you know and it's all, you've been around. It's what you know. So I lived in Massachusetts till I was about 14 years old, and then I would say probably around that time we moved to South Carolina. We didn't stay there that long. I don't remember exactly how long it was, because I remember moving back to Massachusetts, then back to South Carolina at 16. It was pretty unstable. Been through so many different schools. Man, it's crazy. But I remember growing up in Massachusetts, I went to Hayden McFadden Elementary School, and then I went to charter school. Okay, let's back up even before that. When I was about, I think it was around 5 or 6 or 7 years old, somewhere around there, I was in foster care for a couple of years because my parents were both addicts, both involved in drugs. I'm not sure exactly what kind of drugs, but at the time I just knew that they were involved in drugs, so we had gotten taken away. And then we finally went back to our parents, but not to say that it was any better. It was just, I don't know, maybe they were good at putting on a front for a little while. Who knows, really, to be honest with you. Life conditions were never easy. I mean, we always struggled, but when you're going through that stuff and that's all you know, you're used to it, and it becomes, your normal and stuff. I grew up in a house where it was me and 3 other siblings. It was me, my 2 brothers, and my sister, and we were all pretty close for the most part, Growing up, I can't say things were horrible. I can honestly just say that they were probably strict and, more harsh conditions than some may be used to, and definitely exposed to more stuff than some people may be used to, like gun and drug violence and all that stuff. And I remember, like, all these drug dealers and drug addicts coming in and out of our house all the time, and I hated it. I knew what was going on, but it's something that you just don't talk about, you don't mention, especially since you're the child and they're your parents and stuff. They're supposed to be looking out for you. But the question is, are they really? I feel like they had us at a young age and they hadn't even grown up, really, to be honest with you. Moving back and forth from Massachusetts to South Carolina was hard because, you get so used to your friends and your family, and then you have to transition. Actually, when I was 14, I didn't move to South Carolina. Florida was the first place that I moved to. Moved to South Carolina when I was about 16 years old. Anyways, continuing on. Life was never, peaches and cream. Life was never super easy or anything like that. But you learn to grow and you learn to adapt to your surroundings and stuff. It's actually not until later on in life, when you get older, that you realize that what you went through is something that maybe you shouldn't have never went through. Some of the things you saw are things that you should have, you never should have seen and stuff. But you don't know that until later on down the road. Let's see. So at about 16, we moved back to South Carolina. At this point, I believe my parents were broken up, so my dad was with somebody else, and he had been with a couple different somebody else's and stuff, so adapting to that was kind of difficult too. One of the things that I remember about living in Massachusetts, though, on a regular basis was seeing, these nightclub shootings and these neighborhood shootings and these gang violence shootings and places you call the projects and stuff like that being shot. And I remember every once in a while you find out it's somebody you knew, and it just like, it kind of brings your mindset to a point where you have no other choice but to be strong, because like, how many of these setbacks can you take before it actually, before it defeats you or it destroys you? So you kind of have to, adapt to these things and have a strong mindset, like, okay, I can get through this, even when it's somebody you know, and even when it's somebody you were close to. My work family, I worked at a grocery store called Price Right, and they were a pretty we were a pretty tight work family, I guess you could say. They looked out for me. Now, this is back when I was 16 years old. I was really skinny and stuff. And I didn't eat normal, I remember there were nights, specifically when I was 16, I remember there were nights that I would go home and I would be so hungry because, mind you, I've been through school all day, but you don't get much to eat at school, they don't give you that much. And then you go to work, and I obviously don't have any money because Dad took all that for his drugs and stuff. And I remember coming home and, I just asking, like, what's for supper? And I remember that specific night, or one specific night, being told, sorry, there isn't anything left. The kids ate it. I remember going upstairs to my room, getting undressed from work, and I remember crying myself to sleep that night because I was so damn hungry. And trust and believe, that wasn't the only night that something like that had happened. That had happened on multiple occasions, and it had happened multiple times, where we didn't have anything to eat in the house, or if we did, it was far and few between having a normal meal. Man, another memory I have, sorry, I'm just going to bring them up as I remember them. I remember being in South Carolina, and we were living in a trailer in Pelzer, South Carolina, I believe it was. My dad gave us his food card, told us to walk a mile up to the store and get some groceries and stuff. And I remember me and my siblings walked there, went to get groceries, and found out that the card was empty. And he had known that. We get back to the house, and he locked us out of the trailer and had, a female inside and stuff. But I know it doesn't sound like a big deal to you, but it's just these things that I remember that, like, to me just wasn't right, like going hungry, and then, being teased with food and stuff like that. And it just, I don't know, I just feel like under normal circumstances things would have been a lot better, but these were, the cards that I'm dealt. And I know everybody's got their own trials and tribulations and things that they go through and stuff, and it's not easy, don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I spent a few years living in South Carolina. I've done a lot of traveling. So far, I've done some cross-country traveling. Been to every state in the United States except for Alaska and Hawaii. I guess thinking on the positive side, due to COVID, I try to be careful. Like when I'm out on the road, I try to follow guidelines, wearing masks, sanitizing and washing hands and stuff like that. And anytime I get out of the truck, we're always wearing a mask. Yeah, I do travel a lot, but I also take these precautionary measures very seriously, as you don't know who you can be exposing, and, tenfold who they might be exposing other people to. So you got to be really careful as far as that stuff goes. Sorry for rambling. This has been a little bit of a biography on a little bit about me, how I grew up, where I grew up. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to thank you guys for watching, as we're almost 9 minutes in. I'd be surprised if any of you got through to the end of this video. I'm not used to doing personal videos like this, so if I'm all over the place, I may make another one in the future that may, I may have some better points and topics I want to talk about, so it's not so scatter. Anyways, I want to thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.